Alright, so what I want to do is start working on the color map. So what I did, I moved these sort of down a little bit just to give me some space. And I moved my color node up here, so my albedo area. Let's go ahead and add black and white spots. So I'm going to type in spots 2. And let's break this for a second because we're going to blend this with a moisture node. We got these two guys right here. So let's grab our blend node, and for foreground, let's do moisture and then spots in the background. Let's make this overlay. Let's see how this looks. So now what I want to do is convert these into color. What I'm going to do is grab my gradient map. So sort of following the same process we did last time. Notice it has a color and grayscale. If I grab this and I drag it in here, and we set this to color instead of grayscale, if we click this gradient editor, what you'll notice is these values here are my hotspots or my bright values. So if I click in my white area here and I make it red, notice that the entire white area became red. If I click into this darker area and I make that green, you can see that parts of the darker areas, right? So it's ramping up to white. So anything in our noise area, it's going from this darkish green all the way to a white area. Something else I want you to notice is if you wanted to go the opposite direction, you can do invert positions. And now it goes the opposite direction. Invert colors. Desaturate the whole thing. There's a lot of different options that you can go through. So what I want to do is use this pick gradient option, which if you select that, you can actually drag across a surface and you can see that it'll give you all of those colors. What I'm going to do is I want to import in an image. Let's assume this is the brick that I'm trying to create. I'm going to right click and just do save image as, and I'm going to let this, I'm going to make sure that I throw this onto my desktop. Inside of Substance Designer, what I can do is open up a folder on my desktop and then just drag in that brick image, which was this Brewster wallpaper. And you're going to have two options where you can just link it to the desktop, or we can import it into our project. So I'm going to go ahead and hit import resource. Now you can see I have a resources folder here, and when I double click that, I can get the image. Now I want to leave this open, so single click this and then just hit your gradient editor, and then what you can do is click on your pick gradient, and you can either cycle across the brick that you like the most. So say you wanted more of the white area, you can go down to this brick here. You wanted something a little bit more like this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and close this and double click my gradient map, and you can see here that I have pretty good resource for images. But let's say you had something you didn't want, right? So let's go ahead and drag our image onto here just so we could see it. You'll see it in here. Let's do that again, and this time let's get a bigger selection. So let's go across it like this. And I'm going to go ahead and close this and double click it. And I have some weird artifacting now, so maybe some of these dark areas. Let's say we didn't want to keep that. So all you have to do is go back into the gradient editor and say you want to get rid of these dark areas, just select them and hit the X. You can get rid of all of the darker areas that you don't want. You can see it's slowly changing. So oftentimes it's better just to sort of take a getting a smaller sample of an area that you do like, something like this, and then testing it out. And if you want a little bit more, so like what we had before, sort of something like this. And that's something a little bit along the lines of what I do like. Alright, let's see how it looks in our 3D viewer. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete this uniform color here for a second. Just drag this in. you can see, I'm actually going to close this image too. You can see we're getting closer to the brick image on our from our viewer. But the thing is, we haven't played with at all any of our mortar or anything like that. We'll do that later.